And there's also a bit of politics tonight. Welcome to the program. There's a strange bidding war going on in this federal election, with the coalition seeking to impress voters with its intent to slash government spending. They say they've now identified savings of more than $46 billion, while claiming the Gillard government will never achieve the surplus it has spelt out in the budget. Opposition leader Tony Abbott, flanked by his two finance shadow ministers, Joe Hockey and Andrew Robb, was very keen to shift focus away from his early campaign stumble over the ghost of John Howard's WorkChoices policy. But the government had its own list of budget savings so far, while the Prime Minister returned to her old stamping ground, education, to launch a new cadet scheme to encourage more school students to take up a trade. At least both political parties were able to agree on one thing. They both wanted to avoid a clash with MasterChef with their televised National Press Club debate on Sunday night. And why not? Its pulling power is expected to be massive. Political editor Heather Hewitt reports.
Morning, Mr. Abbott. How are you?
Taking a bike ride through the streets of Melbourne at 4:30 in the morning in the freezing cold wouldn't be every politician's ideal way of starting a long day of campaigning. But maybe Tony Abbott needed to clear his head after yesterday's embarrassing stumbles on industrial relations policy. Today, he and his frontbench team were still trying to sort out the mess and move forward.
Look, let me just make it crystal clear, Koshi. WorkChoices, it's dead, it's buried, it's cremated.
Will it rise again?
Not coming back, not now, not ever.
Not ever. Not a second term, no nothing. Ever.
Nothing to do with WorkChoices is ever coming back. Full stop, end of story.
Tony Abbott walking away from WorkChoices would be like Richie Benaud saying he doesn't believe or doesn't like cricket anymore. It is simply unbelievable.
Wayne Swan is to surpluses what Paris Hilton is to celibacy. They remember it once existed, but they'll never see it again.
I do think people should take a bit of a cold shower and start realising that we have a long way to go. Otherwise, they might find themselves so exhausted they won't get to the end of the campaign.
The voters may well be on the verge of campaign fatigue already. Today they were served up more slick one-liners and staged media events as the leaders, ministers and frontbenchers raced around the country in search of attention. Right, so we're supposed to be looking at you.
You got a job for me?
Yeah, I got a job for you.
Excellent, well done.
Hello.
Hi, how you going?
Rachel, nice to meet you.
Presentation is very important, isn't it, Kim?
Getting some great encouragement.
If you want to end the incompetent government, I'm the man to vote for.
As Tony Abbott had another go at killing off WorkChoices today, key business groups are disappointed by the quality of debate and the coalition's complete lack of room to manoeuvre on new workplace laws, though they're not saying so publicly. As well, there's confusion about why Tony Abbott wasn't better prepared for an issue the government had long signalled it would push in the campaign. What's more, the Liberal Party's campaign headquarters, traditionally based in Melbourne, haven't even opened yet, though this is supposed to happen tomorrow.
Sorry we're a little late. There was a technology problem with the printer, but we're here.
They were here at a news conference to set their own agenda and deflect attention away from WorkChoices and onto the economy.
Today we are announcing a further series of expenditure reductions. $1.2 billion worth of new expenditure reductions to add to the running total.
Because we have to. Because the budget is in deficit and the debt continues to grow each and every day.
Over the last 3 years, there's been a lot of belt tightening. Now, if households and small business, if families have got to tighten their belts, it's only right and proper that government should be tightening its belt too.
You get the general idea, as the opposition promised to cut the bureaucracy but not services, slash infrastructure spending, scrap community cabinet meetings, drop many of Kevin Rudd's green initiatives, and repeated claims that identified several $1 billion in savings.
When you hear Mr Abbott and Mr Hockey on the TV or on the radio, they say they've got savings of something like $49 billion. And when you pull that apart, what you find is that it's savings that they say they're taking from NBN, which is a capital investment. It's not a recurrent spending. They're not entitled to claim that. It's savings that comes from the sale of Medibank Private. They're not entitled to claim that. And you go down further and you find that they're claiming $12 billion worth of savings, which was the old revenue figure for the mining tax. They're not entitled to claim that.
As for Julia Gillard, education was her chosen theme today as she toured Richmond High School in the marginal outer Sydney seat of Macquarie.
What's your favourite meal? What's the favourite thing you like making?
Dessert.
Dessert? You're into dessert? Okay. What did you think?
Pasta.
Pasta. Okay. I'm pretty good at toast.
Breakfast cereal.
Breakfast cereal, yeah, I can manage a bit of that.
The Prime Minister announced a national trade cadetship program for students from years 9 to 12 to be offered under the national curriculum from 2012 if her government is re-elected.
It's an important step forward to make it easier for kids who want to go into the trades to actually get a qualification that counts in the world of real work and real skills.
As the campaign rolls on, new political ads are starting to trickle out on television and YouTube and will soon reach bombardment level.
They're tricky and they're sneaky, dishonest and cheeky, they're all together freaky, the Abbott family.
It's the same people who are growing our debt by $100 million a day, every day. More labour, more waste, more debt, more taxes. Nothing's changed. It's the same Labor.
For voters keen to get at least a hint of more policy detail from both sides, there'll be a televised one-hour debate between the leaders at the National Press Club on Sunday night, now rescheduled for 6:30pm to avoid clashing with Channel 10's final of MasterChef, though it will take place the same time as Channel 7's Dancing with the Stars.
Are you confident that people will switch off shows like MasterChef or Dancing with the Stars to watch you debating Tony Abbott?
Well, I'm assuming I will neither be dancing nor cooking, and Australians, you know, it's a great country, and one of the great things about it is you get to pick what you want to watch on TV.
The Prime Minister doesn't seem to like debates now that she's the Prime Minister. She was happy to debate me every Friday morning on the Today program before she got the top job. Once she got the top job, her first action was to abandon for all time those debates.
The Press Club debate will be the one and only between the leaders for the course of this campaign. It may not be a ratings winner, but both parties are highly conscious of the need for strong performances. Their preparations are well underway.
Heather Hewitt with that report. Incidentally, we featured an interview with Julia Gillard last night and in the interests of balance invited Tony Abbott on tonight, but he was unable to fit us into his schedule. We're still waiting to see if he has time tomorrow.